welcome to another episode of Motors for the Masses. Now, SUVs and 4x4s have always sparked a bit of a debate as to whether they're simply large cars. Well, today we have one for you that will either make you agree with this or make you think, I want that. Let me introduce to you the all-new Jaguar F-Pace. Jaguar first broke into the SUV scene in 2016 with the new F-Pace and now the E-Pace. Well, Jaguar, like many, seem to see these new crossovers or SUVs as the midway between a car and a massive gas-guzzling 4x4 tractor. Coming with either a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol or diesel engine or a 3-litre V6 petrol or diesel engine, they come in a variety of engine powers and trim levels. For example, the diesel engines are all 2-litre turbo, but they can either come with 160 brake horsepower, 178 brake horsepower, or 237 brake horsepower, whereas the V6 diesel comes with 297 brake horsepower. The petrol engines are slightly different. Now, the 2-litre version has 247 brake horsepower. That's the only option you get for the petrol. The 3-litre V6 comes with two different versions, either the 337 brake horsepower or the 377 brake horsepower, and that one has a 0 to 62 of 5.5 seconds. Now, all cars come with 8-speed auto box. However, the lower end of the range have a 6-speed manual option. And the other difference for the lower end of the range is that they only come with rear-wheel drive, whereas the upper or the mid-range, including this one, which is the R Sport, come with all-wheel drive. Now, as we are Motors for the Masses, we have a motor that the masses are most likely to drive. The car with the middle engine range and the middle trim range. This one is the 2-litre petrol 4-cylinder with 247 brake horsepower R Sport with all-wheel drive. Now, at this stage I would like to point out there is something about this that bugs me. Now, the bonnet needs slamming. Now, I'm not a bonnet slamming kind of person, but this car encourages it, because otherwise it doesn't shut. And that is really annoying. Do you see my point? The same could be said for the doors. Now, you open this door, very great. You want to shut it. At the end of the day, it's a Jag. You want to shut it gently. It won't let you. You have to shut it with a bit of force. And the same with the back doors. That is something that Jaguar need to sort out. However, Jaguar have redeemed themselves with a remote opening boot, like so. And it's pretty quick as well. Not like some of the other cars you see these days that take about 12 years to open. like the Vauxhall Insignia. Once open, it reveals the 40-20-40 split and 640 litres of luggage space. And what you also get is an actual wheel for a spare. Okay, it's a space saver, but it is a 19-inch wheel, which works very well considering this car has 22s on it. Inside the F-Pace, it's all very well refined and upmarket, very Jag. The infotainment system obviously controls everything that you need infotainment-wise. It's got the DAB radio, it's got the telephone, sat-nav, music, everything you usually need. Now this car has the upgraded version, so instead of the 8-inch or the 8.2-inch I think screen, this one has the 10.2-inch screen. Now the difference with this is that you can split, so the passenger can watch a movie on the DVD and the driver can watch the sat-nav. All very cool. I'm running along these white lines here just so you can feel the tyres. And it's not that bad at all, especially considering this is on 22-inch wheels. It's actually quite soft and absorbing. The best thing about this upgraded system is that you don't have the buttons down the side. You do have a touch screen, so everything is all very handy and very usable. The seats are very, very comfortable. When you put your foot down, it handles the corners really, really well, and that is due to Jaguar's torque vectoring system. Now this improves the braking and upgrades the handling, so you can throw it into a corner without any worries whatsoever. Very impressive. It's very comfortable as well, especially considering this car is sitting on 22-inch rims. What's more, on corners, tight corners, it helps to reduce understeer, and the dampeners are constantly adjusting to give the best feel and the best ability between cornering, handling and comfort. It's really well put together. Driving down here, you're floating over the bumps. Very comfortable, very impressive. Now, in addition to all that, this car has a dynamic mode, and what that means is you can adjust the customizable features of the way the car drives and handles. For example, you can change when the gear change happens, so you can get longer in each gear or shorter in each gear, whichever you choose. That's quite impressive as well. Now, sitting in the cabin area, you get a great sense of space. The seating position is brilliant. You feel high up, but not van high up. Now the best thing about this is when you're driving, the position is lovely. You feel as though you're in a commanding position and there's space everywhere. It's very spacious. There is one slight niggle, and that is this center console can bang against your knee a little bit, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's hard plastic, so maybe if they made that a bit softer, it would be a bit better. But other than that, there's loads of space in the cabin here. I've got great visibility all round, side windows, front windows. This pillar is quite narrow, so it doesn't get in your way. And I've got a great view out the back. It's pretty faultless, apart from this center console bit, and it will bang on your knee if you're not careful or if you're driving a bit spiritedly. Now, there are a couple of little niggles, and this may be a bit OCD, but if you're sitting here with the indicator on, it doesn't sound as though it's having the same tone all the time. It's like tick, 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 tick. It's like it's not quite in tune or in time all the time. Has anybody else noticed that? And the other little niggly thing is that down here you have a little switch to adjust the brightness of the console, and it just feels a bit fiddly. Like when you push it, it comes out and you twist it, but it feels a bit cheap and plasticky, like it's from a 1992 Alba stereo. Not impressed with that. However, you do have the multifunction steering wheel, which has audio limiter and your driving aids and your stereo system and everything all controlled on here with your nice R Sport badge, because this is the R Sport version, of course. And it's very quiet. Can you hear that? No, neither can I really. One thing that is slightly confusing is that this says 25T all-wheel drive. Now, that sort of makes you think it's a 2.5 litre, but it isn't. It's a 2 litre. We're guessing that the 25T represents the brake horsepower. Just missed the 0 off. I don't know. What's that about? Entering the rear through these giant sized doors, you've got absolutely bags of space in the back. Now this is where I would have the driver's seat, and I've got so much room between my knees and the back seat. Head-wise, loads. Comfortability, it's fantastic. Now, the big test is when you put your seatbelt on, does it dig in you? No. What about the middle? Because this is where a lot of cars fall down. They say they are for 3 adults, but are they really? Because what you often find is that the middle seatbelt digs in you. Oh, that goes in there like that, see? Ah, this is where Jaguar seem to have done themselves very well. It's on a bit of a tethery thing and it's not jammed into the seat. So can I sit here comfortably? Yes, I can. Top marks for Jaguar there for the rear seat middle passenger. What you also get in the back here is 2 5-volt supplies and a 12-volt supply. Now the 5-volt supplies are basically USB ports, but they are very handy, especially if you've got young ones or teenagers in the back with their iPod-y things. In the front, again, very comfortable, lovely driving position. Like I said before, the only issue is this centre bit is a bit knocky on the knee and this fiddly switch. Other than that, it's all very refined and very lovely. Very nice. So let's talk a little bit more about this particular car. This one, like I said, 247 brake horsepower, but it has 365 pounds-foot of torque. That means the 0 to 62 time is just 6.4 seconds. That's not bad for a car this size. Top speed is 135 miles an hour and it produces 170 CO2s. That's pretty good as well, which means first year tax is going to be £535. Now, it does sound a lot, but in the new tax bracket, that's not that bad, especially considering every year after that, it's going to be £145. However, there is a slight issue when it comes to the price, and we'll come on to that later. Apart from this centre console banging on your knees, I do like the layout of this car. You've got a nice cup holder system here, and a little bit of a storage bin with a 12-volt supply, your phone SIM card, HDMI and USB ports. You can adjust the driving modes along here, snow, race, bumpiness, and you can even put a speed limit on bumpy roads or off-road. That's pretty clever as well. When you start the car, this little thing comes up, and by pressing the start button, the Jaguar Entertainment System comes on. Now if you put your foot on the clutch and start the car, or put your foot on the brake, the gear selector switches on and comes into play. I like this. This is very nice indeed. It's not like the BMW iDrive system where you adjust everything on the infotainment system, because that's all touchscreen on this one. But you do change gears, and I like that. Which leads me on to my next negative point. The 2-litre petrol is a little bit loud. Now, it's not loud when you rev it, but it just feels a bit tinny. and you expect something of this grand stature to have more of a deep rumble or a roar, especially considering it's got a twin exhaust system. Sounds a bit like a 1.4 Fiesta, really. What you do find is that the glove box is big enough for literally a pair of gloves. Now this car comes with a lot of added extras, £9,000 or £10,000 worth to be precise. One of the extras is the panoramic roof. Now with the buttons up here on the roof, you can either just move this back slowly but smoothly. As you can see, it goes all the way for the driver and the rear passengers, or you can open the roof either like so or all the way. So in the summer, a nice airy feel. I quite like that. However, that's as far as it goes, and you kind of expect it to go a lot further, but it doesn't. Slightly limited, would you say? It's only when you get out and stand above you can see it can't really go anywhere else because you've got the shark fin in the way, although maybe they could redesign that onto the spoiler and the roof go back a bit further, because this just seems a bit of a waste. It is quite a large car, 4.7 metres long, 2.1 metres wide, very much like that Bentley we did last week, and 1.66 metres tall, and it weighs in at 1.7 tonnes. Not too bad for the size of the car it is. Looks wise, to me, from sort of here backwards, it's very Porsche Cayenne, whereas the front end here, very, very nice. I love this gaping mouth. It's done in such a way where it's not gawping, it's not a gormless mouth, it's just large and in your face or in your rear view mirror. I like that, very menacing. It's quite a sleek design as it curves round, but just a big slab on the front here. It's like, I'm a Jaguar, get out of my way. Loving that. So let's talk prices. Well, the base model Prestige version comes at £34,800 on the road, and that is with the 2-litre 163 brake horsepower engine. That kind of puts it on par with the Audi Q5, slightly cheaper than the BMW X5 and a lot cheaper than the Porsche Macan. This one is around £44,000 on the road. However, like I said before, when you start adding lots of add-ons, you can pay a lot more. This one being the R Sport with all these options, including these 22-inch wheels, comes in at around £54,000. Now with that comes that downside I was talking about earlier. As this car is over £40,000 to buy new, it falls into that slightly more expensive tax bracket. So although you're only paying £535 for the first year and £145 every year after that, you are having to pay for that first 5 years the extra £310 because the car costs more than 40 grand to buy. You could argue that if you're paying more than 40 grand, £310 a year isn't that much to worry about. But to some people, it's a bit of a bugbear. Well, mind you, it does come with a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty, so not that bad, is it? And that brings us to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. Thank you very much for watching. Please tune in next time when we'll be back with our Project 400, the hybrid, and in the new year with that Mustang GT 350. Until then, don't forget our giveaway. The link is in the description, and pop along and have a look at that video and all our other videos. Please like, subscribe and share this, and we'll see you again soon. Until then, drive and ride carefully. Have a very good Christmas, but be safe. Bye bye.